Okay students, now let's discuss some of the important questions which have appeared in the last 5 years in the NEET examination. Okay, let's go with the first one. More than 70% of the world's fresh water is contained in. So here the answer is Antarctic. Why Antarctic? Because the fresh water in the Antarctic region is around 85%. In the Antarctic region it is around 85%, and it is in the northern region, that is in the Arctic region, that is around 15%. So here the answer is 85%, which is contained in Antarctic region. Annual migration does not occur in the case of, okay, here the migration, Arctic tern, it also undergoes migration, salmon fish undergoes migration, Siberian crane undergoes migration, whereas salamander does not undergo migration. So the correct answer is salamander. Here the question is annual migration does not occur. Means they are asking the organism which is not undergoing migration, and hence the answer is salamander. And let's go with the third question. People living at the sea level have around 5 million RBC per cubic millimeters of their blood, whereas those living in the altitude to 5,400 meters have around 8 million. This is because at high altitudes, this we have discussed in our previous theory part, where we discussed about high altitude sickness. Okay, in high altitude sickness what happens? Atmospheric pressure will be very less, the amount of oxygen available will be very less. So in order to adjust with the environment, our body start to produce more number of RBCs. As more number of RBCs increases, the affinity towards the oxygen decreases and breathing rate increases, so that the one or as we move in the high altitude region, we get adjust to that environment. This we have studied. So the people eat more nutritive food. This is not the correct answer. People get pollution free air to breathe and more oxygen. This is also not the answer. Atmospheric oxygen level is less, and hence the RBCs are needed to absorb the required amount of oxygen to survive. This is the correct answer. Let's go with the last one. There is more UV radiation which enhances RBC production. So this is also this is not the correct answer. So here the correct answer is atmospheric oxygen. Niche overlap. Okay, I have discussed what the niche is. What is a niche? Niche is a place where the organism lives and performs its activities more efficiently. So where there is in a habitat, there is a place where here is one niche, an organism A lives here, here is the another niche where the organism B lives. So there is a overlap between the two niche. This one is known as niche overlap. Here what happens is when the two organisms overlap, there is sharing of resources between the two organisms living in those niche areas. So it is the mutualism between the two species. No, it is not a mutualism. Active cooperation between the two species. No, it is not a cooperation. Two different parasites on the same host. No. Hence the correct answer is sharing of one or more resources between the two species. Why? Because here the two niches are overlapped. So when the niche is overlapped, there is the sharing of resources between the two organisms. And next one is organisms and population. Fifth one. High density of animal population in an area can result in. High density of an animal population in an area can result in what? Interspecific competition, or predation, or mutualism, or intraspecific competition. Here the answer is intraspecific competition. So suppose take example, here they have not specified which animal. If they have specified which animal, then it would be intraspecific. If they have mentioned say elephant, so if more number of elephants start to be in this area, then it becomes interaction between the same species, so it is intraspecific. If this question is talking about two different species, then it is about intraspecific. So here the question is not very accurate. So there is little bit confusion, but the answer is depending upon the question, we can tell either it may be interspecific or intraspecific. This question has appeared in 2007. Next we shall go with the next question, that is which appeared in 2007. If the mean median pertaining to the certain character of the population are of the same value, the following is mostly to occur. Here what happens is, I will tell what happens to the mean and median in the this above mentioned distributions. In the bimodal distributions, what happens? There will be a curve like this. Here mean and median are equal, but there is modes. You might have heard the words called as mean, median and mode in the statistics. So in first one, bimodal distribution, mean and median will be same, but the mode, there will be two different modes. This is bimodal distribution. Whereas in T-shaped distribution, what happens is the curve will be like this. So here the tails will be very strong. Here mean, median and mode is almost equal. They are not 100% equal, almost equal. Here the small variations will be there. Why? Because there will be a thick tails. These regions are, they are known as tails. Here there is a lot of gap, so there will be variations. And next one is skewed distribution. In skewed distribution, what happens is the curve will be like this. The curve will be like this. So here the mean, median and mode will be of different values. And in the normal distribution, what happens is, in normal distribution, the curve will be like this. So in this type of curve, the mean, median and mode are almost, or not almost, they are 100% equal. So here the question is about mean and median. So this is, the correct answer is normal distribution. This bimodal distribution, it talks about the variation in the mode. So we can't, this can't be the correct answer. The in T-shaped curve also, there will be no 100% relation between the mean and the mode. In the skewed also, they are very different. But in the normal distribution, there is what? Mean and median are almost equal. So the correct answer is normal distribution. Okay, the population, this question, the next question which is appeared in 2007, the population of an insect species shows an explosive increase in the number during the rainy season, followed by its disappearance at the end of the season. What does this show? Okay, see here, I have explained this using a curve in my theory classes. So you can go and see those video lectures. There are two types of growth models. One is J-shaped growth model and another one is logistic growth model. In logistic growth model, the shape will be, the shape of the curve will be S shape. In exponential growth model, it will be of J shape. So in J shape, what happens is, as during initial days, the number of organisms will be less. Why? Because the favorable conditions are not there. Rain is not there, food is not there. As the rain and food gets, they suddenly increase. See here, they sudden increase, and the rain and food becomes limited. The food becomes very limited, rain disappears, so again they start to disappear. So this is J-shaped growth pattern, and this one is S-shaped. So here initially there is the population growth is very slow. As the favorable conditions arrive, they start and increase to the maximum, and at a point they reach a stable point where the population growth becomes stable. This portion is called as stable. Here lag phase, log phase and steady phase are there. So this question is dealing with which exponential growth model, where it is of J-shaped growth pattern. Initially, when the favorable conditions are not there, the number will be less. When the favorable conditions arrive, they increase, and again they decrease as the favorable conditions disappear. So this question is talking about the exponential growth model. So the answer is, the food plants mature and die at the end of the rainy season. No, it is not the correct answer. Its population growth curve is of J type. the population of its predator increases enormously. No, it is not the correct answer. S-shaped or sigmoid growth is in this insects. No, this is also the not correct answer. This is also not. This answer is also not correct. So the correct answer is the population growth curve is of J type. They increase and they decrease. Okay. Then next one is geometric representation of age structure is a character of geometric. So here the question is about the age structure. We studied the age structure in as a character or attributes of the population. So here they have given landscape, ecosystem, biotic community and population. Here the age structure is a character of population. It is not the character of landscape, it is not the character of ecosystem, it is not the character of biotic community, but it is the character of population. So answer is population. Next one is Quercus species are the dominant components in. So it is of, this is also called as oak, silver oak. Okay, oak plants are usually very much dominant in tropical forest. The scrub forest, here the availability of water is very less. They are in between deciduous forest and deserts. Here the availability of water will be very less. So here not very much less than deserts. So okay, here the type of trees will be neem. Example is neem type. In alpine forest you can name Christmas trees. Okay, in tropical rainforest this is oak. Okay, in deciduous forest we can name teak as an example, where they shed their leaves during summer season. Next question is consider the following 4 statements 1 to 4 about certain desert animals such as kangaroo rat. This question is appeared in 2008. So here they have given the 4 statements. You have to select which the statements are correct about the desert animal, that is kangaroo rat. They have dark color and high rate of reproduction and excrete solid urine. No, they don't excrete solid urine. They do not drink water, breathe at slow rate and to conserve water, and have their body covered with thick hairs. No, this is also not correct answer. They feed on dry seeds and do not require drinking water. Yes, they feed on dry seeds. Usually the kangaroo rats feed on dry seeds and they usually don't depend on water, and the excrete very concentrated urine and do not use water to regulate body temperatures. And this one is also correct. So the correct answer is 3 and 4. Reduction in vascular tissue, mechanical tissue and cuticle is a characteristics of. So it is a characteristic of what? It is a characteristics of hydrophytes. Okay, hydrophytes, vascular tissues are very much reduced. Why? Because they are already present in water. All the absorption of water and gases takes place through general body surface. Mechanical tissues are absent, like sclerenchyma and collenchyma is almost absent, which gives it flexibility. And next one is cuticle is also absent. This is the characteristic of hydrophytes. And next one is which one of the following is most appropriately defined? Host is an organism which provides food to other organism. Okay, amensalism is a relation in which one species is benefited whereas other organism is unaffected. Predator is an organism that catches and kills other organism for food. Parasitism is an organism which always lives inside the body of other organism and it may kill it. So here the first one, host is an organism which provides food to other organism. This one is not correct. Why? Because the host is an organism which not only provides food but also it provides shelter. Amensalism, here this one is also wrong. Amensalism is a type of interaction where one organism is definitely harmed, other is unaffected. Here it is not benefited, it is one organism is harmed, other is unaffected. So it is not the correct answer. Predator is an organism that catches and kills other organism for food, and this one is the correct answer. Let's go with the last one. Parasite is an organism which always lives inside. No, it always, the sentence always lives inside is the wrong. It may live inside or outside. There are 2 types of parasitism. We can see ectoparasites and endoparasites. So the correct answer is C. Which one of the following is one of the characteristics of biological community? So this question is asked in 2010. So see here, stratification, natality, mortality and sex ratio. Out of this 4, we have studied natality, we have studied mortality, we have studied sex ratio. All these 3 are characteristics of population, whereas stratification is horizontal distribution or vertical distribution, or in general terms spatial distribution of organisms in an habitat is known as stratification. It is a character of biological community. So biological community has many characters and population has different characters. Natality, mortality, sex ratio, immigration, emigration are the characters of population, whereas stratification, dominance, species diversity, trophic organization are characters of biological community. So here the stratification is the correct answer. Next, the logistic population growth is expressed by the equation. We have already discussed it is dn by dt is equal to rn into k minus n divided by k. Rn, it is the direct question. It was answered in 2011. Which of the following is categorized as parasite in its true sense? The female Anopheles bites and sucks the blood from humans. Okay, the 15th question. Which one of the following is categorized as parasite in its true sense? Okay, the female Anopheles bites and sucks the blood from the humans. So here the female Anopheles it is acting as a vector, but actual parasite is Plasmodium vivax. Okay, human fetus developing inside the uterus draws nourishment from the mother. No, it is not a parasitic relation. Head lows living on the human scalp as well as laying eggs on the human hair. Yes, this is ectoparasite. Cuckoo lays its egg in crow's nest. So this is also not a parasitic relation. Here the exact parasitic relation is head loves living on the human scalp as well as laying eggs on human hairs. Consider the following 4 conditions and select the correct pair of them as adaptation to environment in desert lizards. So the options are burrowing in soil to escape high temperature. Yes, they burrow within the soil so that they occupy a very colder area so that water remains within the body. There is no need of sweating. This one is the correct answer. Losing heat rapidly. No, this does not take place. If they lose the heat rapidly, then the water comes out of the body. So this is not the correct answer. They need very much water within their body. They come out, they burst in sun when temperature is low. So when the temperature is low, they come out and they take the temperature and they increase their body temperature. Insulating body due to thick fatty dermis. No, they don't have insulating dermis. So the correct answer is 1 and 3. That is option B. And next one is large woody vines are more commonly found in. So woody vines are also called as lianas. They're also called as woody vines are also called as lianas. Lianas are the woody climbers. Woody climbers, which take support of the big trees and they grow along with those trees, and that can be seen in tropical rainforest. We cannot see in alpine forest. Mangroves are also temperate forest, but we can see in tropical rainforest. So the correct answer is C. This was asked in the year 2011. And next one is people who have migrated from plains to an area adjoining Rohtang Pass about 6 months back. So here this question is again related to high altitude sickness. The people moving from plain area to high altitude area, what happens? Their RBC almost increases. The number of RBC increases, have more RBCs than their hemoglobin, have low binding affinity to the oxygen, are not physically fit, suffer from altitude sickness with symptoms like nausea, fatigue and etc. Have the usual RBC count, but their hemoglobin has very binding affinity to oxygen. So they have asked, you can observe the question here, they have moved 6 months back. 6 months back means they have adjusted. They have adjusted means they have more RBCs. Here is a small confusion. You can see here, suffer from altitude sickness with symptoms like nausea, fatigue, and etc. Yes, they suffer, but they have adjusted. They have gone 6 months back, so they have adjusted. So the correct answer is A. Next one is, which one of the following is not a parasitic adaptation? Development of adhesive organs. Yes, parasites need adhesive organs. Loss of digestive organs. Yes, they almost reduce their body organs. Loss of reproductive capacity. No, they reproduce more. Actually, they reproduce more when compared to other organisms. Loss of unnecessary sense organs. This one is also correct, and the correct answer is C. So the parasitic adaptation, loss of reproductive capacity. Next one is age pyramid with broad base. Age pyramid with broad base. So we have studied two types of age pyramids, three types, where the pyramids forming bell shape, urn shape, triangular shaped, bell shaped, and urn shaped. In triangular shaped, what happens? There is a broad base. Broad base means they are having more number of young population. Pre-reproductive age group is more. So the answer would be higher percentage of old individuals, no. Low percentage of young individuals, no. Stable population, high percentage of young individuals. So there will be high population of young individuals. A biologist studied the population of rats in barn. He found that the average natality is 250, average mortality is 240, migration is 20, and immigration is 20, and emigration is 30. The net increase in the population would be. So here you can take B plus I minus D plus E. B is birth, I is immigration, D is death, E is immigration. So here birth is, natality is 250, immigration is 20. A biologist studied the population in rats. He found that the average natality is 250, average mortality is 240, immigration is 20, emigration is 30. The net increase in the population is. So here what happens is, we can give the formula B plus I minus D plus E. In B is natality, I is immigration, D is death, and E is emigration. Birth is, natality is 250 and immigration is 20. So the answer becomes 250 plus 20 is 270, and natality is 240, emigration is 30. 240 plus 30 is 270. 270 minus 270 is 0. So the correct answer is 0. A sedentary sea anemone gets attached to the shell lining of a hermit crab. This is association of, I gave this example while explaining interspecific interaction. So it is a type of commensalism. Commensalism, a type of positive interaction where one organism is benefited, other is neither benefited nor harmed. This is commensalism. Next one is, besides paddy feed, cyanobacteria is also found inside vegetative part of, okay, cycas. You all have seen cycas. Cycas have two types of roots. One special type of root known as coralloid roots. Coralloid roots are rich in what? Coralloid roots are rich in blue-green algae, which fixes the atmospheric nitrogen. So the correct answer is cycas. We cannot see the cyanobacteria in any of the parts of equisetum or xylotum or pinus. We can see only in cycas. The correct answer is cycas. Just a person moving from Delhi to Shimla to escape heat for the duration of hot summer, thousands of migratory birds from Siberia and other extreme cold northern regions move to. So here the answer is Quelodio National Park. It is present in Rajasthan, where Quelodio National Park, which is in the Rajasthan, it is a wetland. There is a wetland. So the conditions in this Quelodio National Park is almost equal to that of the Siberia. So the Siberian cranes, they migrate to Quelodio National Park. So the correct answer is Quelodio National Park, which is present in Rajasthan. In association of individuals of different species living in the same habitat and having functional interactions is. So here observe the question, association of individuals of different species. Individuals of different species living together in the same habitat. So the correct answer is ecosystem, no. Population, no. Competition, no. And it is predation. So here the options they have mentioned, it is not having any of the correct answers. Here the correct answer is, you might have guessed correctly, that is biotic community. Biotic community. So it is an individuals of different species living together in the same habitat. It is called as biotic community. It is not ecosystem, population, competition or predation. It is biotic community. Next one is Gauss principle of competitive exclusion, states that it comes under competition. The Gauss principle states that no two organisms competing for the same resource cannot live together in the same habitat. If they have to win, one has to leave the habitat. No two organisms competing for the same resource can live together in the same habitat. If there is a, if there is a B, these two are competing the resource of C. This is the common resource for both, but these two organisms cannot live in this habitat. Why? Because if there is a competition, one will win and one will lose, and the organism which has to leave the habitat. This is the Gauss principle. The organisms competing for the same resource, two organisms competing for same resource cannot live together in the same habitat. So here what are the options? Here the options are, the two species can occupy the same niche indefinitely for the same limiting resources. Large organisms exclude smaller ones through competition. More abundant species will exclude the less abundant species through competition. Competition for the same resource excludes species having different food preferences. So here the correct answer is competition for the same resource excludes species having different food preferences. Next one is, when does the growth rate of the population in the logistic growth model equal to 0? When the equation is dn by dt is equal to rn into 1 minus n divided by k. So when it becomes 0, when this equation becomes 0, suppose if n by k becomes 1, then it becomes 0. That is 1 minus 1 becomes 0. So that is when n divided by k is exactly 1. That is when n is population density, k is carrying capacity. When the population density reaches the carrying capacity, then the logistic growth model becomes 0. It is much easier for small animals to run uphill than the large animals. Because why? Small animals, they run easily. Large animals cannot run. Why? Because smaller animals have higher metabolic rate. It is a simple question which is asked in NEET 2016. The principles of competitive exclusion was given by G.F. Gauss. Option B, G.F. Gauss. And next one is, if plus sign is assigned to the beneficial interactions, negative sign is detrimental, and O, that is 0 sign to the neutral interactions, then the population interaction is represented by plus minus refers to. So here the plus represents organism which is benefited, and negative represents the organism which is affected, and 0 represents the organism is neither benefited nor affected. It is neutral. So if the question is about plus and minus, plus and plus is mutualism, plus and 0 is commensalism, plus and minus is parasitism, minus and 0 is amensalism. So here the correct answer is parasitism. Which one of the following are selected species? So mycorrhiza, next question is which was asked in 2010. Mycorrhiza are examples of, it is an example of mutualism. Next one is, presence of plants arranged into well-defined vertical layers depending on their height can be best seen in, so it can be best seen in tropical rainforest. So vertical distribution means herbs, shrubs and trees. That is vertical distribution. So it can be best seen in tropical rainforest. Plants which produce characteristics nematophores and show vivipary belongs to. So here I have already discussed this question while explaining the adaptation. So nematophores are the type of roots which can be seen in halophytes. So the correct answer is halophytes. And next one is asymptote in logistic growth curve is obtained when. So asymptote means if this is the graph, this is the logistic growth curve, and here is the carrying capacity. So the point where the curve reaches the carrying capacity, this point is called as asymptote. That is when k is equal to n. When k and n becomes equal, that point it becomes nearly equal to the 0. So answer is k is equal to n. Next, which one of the following population interactions is widely used in medical science for the production of antibiotics? So antibiotics is usually produced. Take an example of fungi. When a fungi is grown, when a fungi grows, it produces antibiotics so that it suppresses the growth of other organisms. It is a type of interaction where one organism is definitely harmed. Which organism? The other organism which comes and grows within this already grown fungi environment. The new organism which comes and grows within this environment, no, that organism will definitely die. This organism is going to harm. This organism going to be harmed, whereas the other organism which produces the antibiotics is neither harmed but also not benefited. It becomes unaffected. So the answer is amensalism. In a growing population of the country, growing population, so it is about age distribution and age structure. The population is said to be growing. When the population is said to be growing, when there is more number of pre-reproductive age groups when compared to other two reproductive age groups. Pre-reproductive individuals are more than the reproductive individuals. This one is the correct answer. And next one is nematophores occur in. I already discussed this. This one is halophytes. Natality refers to birth rate. See here, the simple questions were asked in niche. What the niche is? I already explained. Niche is the place where the organisms occupy a place and performs its function very effectively. That one is called as niche. The functional role played by an organism where it lives, it is known as niche. Next one is between which among the following the relationship is not an example of commensalism. What is commensalism? Commensalism is a type of interactions where only one organism is benefited, other is neither benefited nor harmed. That type of interaction is known as commensalism. It is already usually seen in epiphytes. Epiphytes means orchids. Orchids are the tree on which it grows. So next one is the last. Carnivorous animals like lions and leopards occupy the same niche, but the lions predate mostly larger animals and leopards take smaller ones. This mechanism of competition is referred to as. So I already discussed, if the two organisms like A and B competing for the same resource, then only one is going to win, other is going to lose. So they have shared their resources. A takes this one, B takes this one, so there is no competition among themselves. This one is known as resource partitioning. They have partitioned their resources. They have specified their resources. This organism is always going to take this resource, and this B organism is going to always depend on this resource. They have specified their resources there, so there is no competition. So hence this one is known as resource partitioning. Okay students, thank you. I will be uploading this question bank into my Telegram channel. You can get access to my Telegram channel by clicking on the link which is provided in the description. Thank you.